There's a reason why some people look at the stars and see distance, while others look and see destiny. The difference isn't luck, it isn't privilege, it's belief. Your dreams, those vivid pictures of what life could be, are not random thoughts floating in your mind. They are blueprints, divine architecture for the life you were built to live. When you close your eyes and imagine a greater future, you're not escaping reality, you're designing it. From the moment you were born, life placed something inside you, a spark, a whisper, a vision. Some call it passion, others call it purpose, but it's more than both. It's your personal GPS to greatness. It's the map only you can follow. Most people ignore it because they've been told their dreams are unrealistic, but the truth is, unrealistic is just another word for unexplored. Every great achievement humanity has ever seen began as someone's impossible dream. Airplanes, electricity, the internet, cures for diseases. These were all born from minds that refused to be limited by the opinions of others. When people said, "You can't," they said, "Watch me." That's the energy of a dreamer who believes their vision is the truth of who they are. When you dream, you activate a force within you that connects to something infinite. Your dream isn't just about money, fame, or status, it's about alignment. It's about you syncing up with what life created you for. That's why it feels electric when you think about it. That's why it keeps you awake at night. Because deep down, your spirit recognizes its own reflection in that vision. But here's where most people go wrong. They confuse their dream with a wish. A wish is passive, it waits. A dream is active, it demands movement. A wish says, "Wouldn't it be nice?" A dream says, "This will be my reality." You see the difference. One creates hope, the other builds destiny. When you treat your dream like a blueprint, you start acting differently. You stop saying, "I'll try," and you start saying, "I must." You stop asking, "Is it possible?" and start asking, "What's my next step?" That shift changes everything, because now your dream becomes a mission. You go from hoping to creating, you go from wishing to working, and that's when something beautiful happens. The universe starts to move with you. You meet people who align with your purpose. Opportunities show up at the right moment. Resources appear out of nowhere. It's not magic, it's momentum. When you finally move in the direction of your dream, life moves with you. But let me be honest, following your blueprint doesn't mean it's going to be easy. The path to your dream will test you. It will challenge your patience, your confidence, your endurance. Why? Because your dream isn't just about what you achieve, it's about who you become in the process. Each obstacle is there to refine you, to stretch your faith, to strengthen your character. You see, when the blueprint of your dream is clear, you can handle the storms. You won't quit when things get hard, because you'll understand this isn't punishment, it's preparation. Every challenge is carving out the version of you capable of handling the success you're building toward. Imagine an architect building a skyscraper. They don't just start stacking floors, they go deep, first digging the foundation. The taller the dream, the deeper the foundation must go. The same goes for you. The bigger your dream, the more growth life will demand from you. It's not trying to break you, it's trying to build you. And here's the real secret. Your dream doesn't evolve by staying in your mind, it grows by being expressed in action. Every small step, every decision, every late night of work is a piece of the blueprint coming to life. Even when nobody sees it, even when the world doubts it, the foundation is forming beneath the surface. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. There is no right time. To chase your dream, the right time is the moment you decide you're done waiting. You don't need validation from the world. You just need commitment from yourself. Every single successful person you admire once stood exactly where you are now, uncertain, afraid, wondering if it would ever work. The only difference is that they started, they trusted the whisper, they looked at their blueprint and said, "Let's build." So ask yourself, what dream have you buried under excuses? What vision have you been too afraid to claim? Because until you give your dream life, you'll always feel that quiet ache, that reminder that you were meant for more. Dreams are the language of your potential. They speak in images, emotions, and ideas. When you honor them, you unlock the most powerful force in existence, belief. And belief backed by action becomes creation. This is the beginning of something extraordinary, not someday, now. Right now is your construction site. Right now is your foundation. Every thought, every decision, every brave action you take is building your masterpiece. So stop questioning if your dream is possible. Start asking what's required of you to make it real. You already have the tools, you already have the blueprint. The only thing left is to start building, because your dream isn't waiting for the world to change, it's waiting for you to change. And when you do, your world will never be the same again. There comes a moment in every person's journey where they feel that inner tension, the space between who they are and who they could be. That tension isn't a burden, it's a signal. It's life telling you it's time to expand. You see, growth is not an option, it's a requirement for anyone who wants to live an extraordinary life. You can't create a bigger reality while holding on to small patterns, small thinking, and small beliefs. Expansion begins when you stop trying to fit your greatness inside the limb it's the world gave you. Most people shrink themselves to fit in, they dim their light because they're afraid it'll blind others. But the truth is, your light doesn't hurt people, it shows them what's possible. When you rise, you become a mirror for others to see their own potential reflected back at them. That's the real beauty of expansion. It doesn't just change you, it transforms everyone around you. Think about it, everything that grows must stretch. A seed breaks open before it becomes a tree. A muscle tears before it gets stronger. The same is true for your mind. Growth always feels uncomfortable at first because you're stretching past what you know. But that discomfort, that's the birthplace of transformation. That's the moment where your old limits begin to dissolve. You've been conditioned to stay small, to think small, to expect small. Society rewards comfort, not courage. But comfort is the enemy of progress. Every time you choose comfort over growth, you build walls around your potential. Those walls may feel safe, but they're also the reason your dreams feel far away. The day you stop choosing safety and start choosing stretch, that's the day your entire life shifts. Expansion isn't about becoming someone else, it's about becoming more of who you truly are. Somewhere along the way, you buried your brilliance under fear, doubt, and other people's opinions. But that greatness hasn't disappeared. It's waiting to be reactivated. Every time you take a bold step toward your dream, you're waking up that sleeping giant within you. Here's the truth. Your environment will always try to keep you at the level you've already mastered. That's why so many people stay stuck. They're surrounded by people who are comfortable where they are. But you were never meant to stay average. You were meant to lead. You were meant to grow. You were meant to expand beyond what's familiar. When you start expanding, your world may resist. People may question you, misunderstand you, or even judge you. But remember, their reaction isn't about you. It's about the limits they've accepted for themselves. Don't shrink to make others comfortable with their own smallness. You owe it to your purpose to grow beyond their expectations. Every time you choose to expand your mind, your world expands with it. The opportunities you couldn't see before begin to appear. The ideas you never imagined start to flow. You start attracting people, possibilities, and pathways that match your new vibration. Because the world doesn't give you what you want, it gives you who you are. Think of your mind as a container. If you only allow small thoughts, you'll only hold small results. But the moment you stretch that container, you can hold more success, more joy, more fulfillment, more love. Expansion is the process of increasing your capacity to receive life's abundance. The universe is infinite. It's not withholding anything from you. It's simply waiting for you to grow big enough to handle it. But here's the challenge: expansion doesn't happen automatically. It's a conscious choice. You have to be willing to step into uncertainty. You have to say yes to opportunities that scare you, because fear is the doorway to freedom. The things that terrify you the most are often the very things that will transform you the most. Every time you face fear head on, you claim another piece of your power back. When you stop avoiding growth, you realize that your limits were never real, they were imagined. You made them up to feel safe. You convinced yourself that you couldn't, when in reality, you simply hadn't yet. Expansion isn't about breaking limits, it's about realizing there were never any to begin with. And something beautiful happens when you live from this state of expansion. Your energy changes. People can feel it. You become magnetic, confident, unstoppable. You stop chasing opportunities and start attracting them. Because expansion doesn't just change what you do, it changes who you are being. You start to notice that every new level of growth brings a new level of responsibility. Expansion demands more discipline, more faith, more vision. But it also brings more fulfillment, because you're no longer existing, you're evolving. You're no longer repeating your past, you're writing your future. Don't fear expansion, fear stagnation. The pain of growth is temporary, but the pain of regret lasts a lifetime. Every time you resist change, you're choosing comfort over creation. But every time you say, I'm ready to grow, you unlock a new level of freedom, the freedom to think bigger, love deeper, live bolder. You have unlimited potential within you. There is no finish line to your greatness. There's always another level, another layer of strength, creativity, and wisdom waiting to be discovered. The more you expand, the more you realize just how limitless you truly are. So stretch your vision, stretch your beliefs, stretch your identity. Refuse to live in the small space of who you were yesterday. Because expansion isn't just about changing your circumstances, it's about changing your consciousness. And when your consciousness expands, your life expands with it. The power of expansion is the key to unlocking everything you desire. The moment you stop fighting for your limitations and start reaching for your possibilities, life begins to open up in ways you never imagined. This is your time, this is your season to rise, expand your vision, expand your capacity, expand your life, because the only limits that exist are the ones you accept. There comes a defining moment in every person's life, a moment when they stand at a crossroads between who they are and who they could become. One path is paved with hesitation, uncertainty, and endless questioning. The other is lined with courage, clarity, and unstoppable action. That moment is called decision, and it is the single most powerful force that can change your destiny in an instant. You see, most people spend their lives waiting for confidence, waiting for permission, waiting for the perfect time. But life doesn't reward those who wait. It rewards those who decide. Decision is the act of cutting off all other possibilities. The word itself comes from the Latin decidere, meaning to cut away. When you decide, you eliminate doubt, you eliminate escape routes, you draw a line in the sand and declare, this is it, I'm all in. Doubt is a parasite of the mind. It feeds on your hesitation and multiplies with every maybe you allow. The longer you stay undecided, the more it drains your energy, your focus, and your faith. You've felt it before, that restless feeling of knowing you're meant to move forward, but you freeze. Why? Because doubt whispers, what if it doesn't work? But decision shouts, what if it does? The truth is, you don't need to have everything figured out before you start. You just need to decide that you're done living small. The moment you make a real decision, the universe starts rearranging itself to support you. Doors open, people appear, opportunities align, not because the world changes, but because you change. You start operating from conviction instead of confusion. There's an energy that comes with decision, a fire that burns away excuses. When you make a decision from your highest self, fear doesn't disappear, but it loses its power. It becomes background noise. Because when your purpose is loud enough, your fear becomes irrelevant. Every breakthrough you've ever experienced came from one powerful choice: to take action when it was easier to stay still. Think about it, how many times have you hesitated on something your soul was screaming for? That business idea, that move, that dream, that conversation. Every time you hesitate, you train your brain to doubt your own intuition. You teach yourself to wait instead of create. But the people who live extraordinary lives are those who act in the face of uncertainty. They don't wait for the storm to pass, they decide to dance in the rain. Decision is the root of transformation. Without it, no strategy, no opportunity, no motivation can save you. You can read all the books, listen to all the podcasts, watch all the motivational videos, but until you decide that enough is enough, nothing changes. Decision is the bridge between information and transformation. When you truly decide, something shifts in your identity. You stop saying, I hope, and start saying, I will. You stop saying, someday, and start saying, today. You stop hoping for change, and you become the change. That's the power of commitment. Decision gives birth to discipline, and discipline gives birth to destiny. The most successful people aren't the ones who never doubted, they're the ones who made decisions faster than their doubts could take root. They learned that progress loves speed. The faster you decide, the faster you learn, adapt, and grow. Every decision, even the wrong ones, move you forward. Indecision, on the other hand, keeps you stuck in a prison of what-ifs. Here's the irony: doubt doesn't disappear when you achieve more, it disappears when you decide more. Confidence isn't the cause of decision, it's the result of it. You don't wait to feel ready to act, you act, and that creates readiness. You don't wait to feel confident, you decide to show up, and that builds confidence. Waiting for perfect conditions is like waiting for the ocean to stop moving before you sail. It will never happen. Every decision you avoid is an opportunity delayed. Every decision you face is an opportunity disguised. The people who create massive success aren't necessarily smarter or more talented, they're simply more decisive. They've trained their minds to lead instead of follow fear. They know that hesitation costs more than failure ever could. The beautiful truth is this: life is constantly waiting for your signal. It responds to clarity. When you send out the energy of indecision, you get confusion back. But when you send out the frequency of commitment, the world mirrors it back in miracles. You become a magnet for momentum. And remember, decision isn't always about grand gestures. Sometimes it's as simple as deciding, I won't live like this anymore. I will get healthy. I will start today. These small shifts compound into transformation. Because each time you honor a decision, you build trust with yourself. And self-trust is the foundation of unstoppable confidence. There's a part of you that already knows what to do. You've always known. The only thing standing between you and your next level is the courage to decide. You don't need more information, you need more commitment. Decision is the moment you claim your power back. So here's the truth: you will never eliminate doubt completely, but you can overpower it. You do that by making decisions faster than fear can speak. You silence the voice that says, what if, by acting before it finishes the sentence. The more you do this, the louder your inner certainty becomes. Decide today that you are done waiting. Decide that fear is no longer your master. Decide that your life will expand at the speed of your choices. Because when you decide with conviction, you step into the realm of creation where miracles are born, destinies are shaped, and dreams turn into reality. Don't let doubt dictate your destiny. Make the decision, take the leap, and let your faith catch up. Because once you decide, truly decide, nothing and no one can stop you. Decision over doubt, always. Every dreamer, every visionary, every achiever eventually meets a moment where everything seems to crumble. The plan doesn't work, the results don't come, the world feels like it's pushing back harder than ever before. That moment isn't the end, it's the beginning. Because it's in that storm where resilience is born, and resilience is the foundation of mastery. You see, anyone can act confident when life is easy. Anyone can believe when everything's going their way. But true mastery, the kind that transforms ordinary people into legends, is forged in resistance. It's built in the dark nights, the lonely mornings, and the moments you feel like giving up. The strongest steel is created in the hottest fire. And you, my friend, were built for the flames. Resilience is not about avoiding pain, it's about converting it. It's the ability to take what was meant to break you and turn it into fuel. Every obstacle you face is not there to stop you, it's there to shape you. Life doesn't test you to punish you, it tests you to reveal you. And the moment you start seeing adversity as training, not torture, your power multiplies. Think about it, a muscle grows only when it's challenged. The same principle applies to your mindset. Every setback, every failure, every disappointment is resistance training for your soul. The more pressure you face, the stronger your character becomes if you choose to stay in the fight. Resilience is a choice, not a gift. It's built decision by decision, day by day, through relentless persistence. People often ask, how do I stay motivated when everything falls apart? The answer is, you don't wait for motivation, you build discipline. Motivation is a feeling, discipline is a force. Motivation fades when things get hard, but discipline grows stronger the more you use it. When you rely on motivation, you quit when it's inconvenient. When you rely on discipline, you rise when it's impossible. That's the difference between those who dream and those who master. The truth is, most people quit too soon. They stop 3 feet from gold because they mistake struggle for failure. But struggle isn't failure, it's feedback. It's the universe saying, you're close, adjust, grow, keep going. Every master was once a disaster. Every expert was once a beginner who refused to quit. They learned that resilience is built not by avoiding pain, but by dancing with it until it becomes strength. You cannot build mastery in comfort. Comfort makes you soft. Challenge makes you sharp. Every setback that once made you doubt yourself is actually sharpening your edge. The pain you endure today becomes the strength you'll rely on tomorrow. That's why people who have gone through the hardest battles often have the deepest wisdom. They didn't read it. They earned it. Resilience doesn't mean pretending everything is fine. It means standing tall even when it's not. It's the ability to say, this hurts, but I'm still here. This broke my heart, but it won't break my will. It's looking life in the eye and saying, you can knock me down, but I'll rise again every single time. That mindset is unshakable. That's mastery. Let me tell you something powerful. Every storm eventually runs out of rain. Every winter turns to spring. But most people never see their season change because they stop walking halfway through the storm. You've got to outlast the storm to earn the sunshine. That's the price of mastery endurance. When you develop resilience, failure stops being your enemy. It becomes your greatest teacher. Failure teaches clarity. It shows you what doesn't work so you can find what does. The more you fail, the faster you learn. The faster you learn, the quicker you master. Failure isn't the opposite of success, it's the process of success. And here's the truth most people never hear. Resilience is not built in moments of glory, it's built in moments of grit, when no one's watching, when no one's cheering, when no one believes. It's those silent hours, when you're tired, frustrated, and alone, and you still keep going, that define your legacy. Because real power isn't loud, it's consistent. You have to learn to love the process more than the prize. When your focus is only on the reward, you'll give up when it doesn't show up fast enough. But when your love is for the journey, for becoming better, for learning, for growing, you'll keep going long after everyone else stops. And that's where mastery lives. Look back at your life. Think about the moments you thought you couldn't survive, but you did. The heartbreaks, the losses, the failures. You didn't just get through them, you grew through them. That's resilience. That's proof that you're built of something unbreakable. You've been collecting strength all along, you just didn't recognize it. Resilience teaches you self-trust. It's knowing that no matter what happens, you can handle it. That's the deepest level of power a human being can reach, unshakable faith in themselves. Because once you trust your ability to rise, nothing can keep you down for long. Here's a truth you can live by. Pain is temporary, but quitting lasts forever. If you can learn to stay in the game long enough, you will win. Life rewards persistence. Success doesn't always go to the most talented or the most intelligent, it goes to the most resilient. The one who refuses to give up when it hurts the most. Every time you rise after a fall, you become stronger than the version of you that fell. You build layers of mental armor that no failure can pierce. You begin to realize that life's greatest challenges are not obstacles, they're invitations. Invitations to become more, to expand your capacity, to turn pressure into purpose. And that's what mastery truly is, not perfection, but progress. Not never falling, but never staying down. Mastery is resilience multiplied over time. It's the relentless pursuit of better, fueled by a spirit that refuses to die. You can't fake it. You can only earn it through experience, through pain, through persistence. So the next time life knocks you down, and it will smile. Because that moment isn't your ending, it's your evolution. Every challenge you conquer becomes part of your story. Every scar becomes a signature of strength. Every loss becomes a lesson. That's how champions are built. That's how legacies are written. Resilience isn't just a skill, it's a superpower. And when you master it, you become unstoppable. You stop fearing failure. You stop doubting yourself. You stop retreating from resistance. Because you know no matter what happens, you have the strength to rise again. And when you reach that level of inner certainty, mastery becomes inevitable. You'll no longer chase success, you'll attract it. Because resilience turns you into the kind of person success must find. So remember this: the fire that once burned you is the same fire that will build you. The pain that once broke you is the same pain that will strengthen you. Every challenge is here for your evolution. Every fall is training for your rise. Resilience builds mastery, and mastery builds freedom. The freedom to live without fear. The freedom to chase dreams without hesitation. The freedom to become the person you were always meant to be. So rise up, stand tall, smile in the face of chaos, because every time you do, life takes a step back and says, "This one can't be broken." And that unbreakable spirit is what true mastery looks like. There's a lie that keeps more dreams buried than fear ever could: the belief that greatness is a moment, that success happens one day, someday, when everything aligns. But greatness isn't a destination, it's a decision you make every single day. Living greater is not about waiting for that one big break, it's about becoming the kind of person who creates them, one choice, one action, one sunrise at a time. Every day is a chance to step into your next level. Every morning you wake up, you're standing on a battlefield between comfort and creation. One voice says, "Take it easy." The other says, "Rise higher." The question is, which voice will you listen to? Because the choices you make in the quiet moments shape the results you experience in the loud ones. Living greater isn't about doing more, it's about being more. It's about bringing intention to everything you touch. The way you talk, the way you move, the way you treat people, all of it carries your energy, and that energy determines whether you live reactively or creatively. When you live reactively, life happens to you. When you live creatively, life happens through you. That's the difference between existing and truly living. There's a rhythm to greatness. It's built on simple daily disciplines that compound into extraordinary outcomes. The most powerful people in the world didn't arrive there overnight, they built momentum day by day. They understood that consistency beats intensity. They didn't wait for motivation, they generated it. They made greatness their routine, not their exception. When you wake up and say, "Today I will live greater," you rewire your brain, you tell your subconscious that average is no longer an option. That intention starts to shift your actions, how you think, how you speak, how you respond. Because when you change your daily standard, you change your entire destiny. Here's the truth: success is not built in grand gestures, it's built in quiet repetitions. It's in the morning when you decide to get up even when you're tired. It's in the moment when you choose discipline over distraction. It's in the days when no one sees your effort, but you keep showing up anyway. That's what living greater means: choosing growth when comfort whispers your name. Living greater isn't about comparison either. It's not about being better than anyone else, it's about being better than you were yesterday. True greatness isn't external, it's internal. It's about mastery over your emotions, your focus, your energy. It's about learning to direct your mind instead of being directed by your circumstances. The people who live the greatest lives aren't the ones who never fall, they're the ones who refuse to stop rising. They see every setback as an opportunity to grow, every obstacle as a lesson, every challenge as fuel. That mindset is what separates the average from the exceptional, because the truth is, life will test you. But those tests are not meant to destroy you, they're meant to develop you. You can't live greater if you're stuck in yesterday. Too many people replay their failures like broken records. They live inside old stories, repeating old pain. But the past is not your prison, it's your preparation. You have to release what was so you can create what can be. Every sunrise is proof that life believes in second chances. Don't waste them by staying in who you were. Living greater every day means waking up with gratitude, because gratitude turns what you have into more than enough. It shifts your energy from lack to abundance, from stress to strength. Gratitude makes room for growth because it focuses your mind on what's right instead of what's wrong. And when you focus on what's right, you start attracting more of it. It also means serving something bigger than yourself. When your purpose is only about you, your fire burns out fast. But when you live to impact others, your energy multiplies. Purpose gives your life depth, it gives your actions meaning, it gives your heart direction. Living greater isn't about accumulating, it's about contributing. Every day you have two choices: Shrink back into who you were or step forward into who you're becoming. One leads to repetition, the other leads to reinvention. The people who live extraordinary lives are those who choose reinvention daily. They wake up and ask, how can I grow today? How can I love more today? How can I lead better today? That's how greatness is sustained through daily renewal. You won't always feel like it. Some days you'll wake up exhausted, uninspired, and unsure. But those are the days that define you. Because anyone can live greater when they feel great, the true test is whether you can live greater when you don't. Champions are made in the days when no one's clapping, when it's just you, your dream, and your will. Every second you're alive, you're being given the greatest gift in existence: choice. The choice to rise, to act, to build, to love, to create, to live greater than your fears, your past, your excuses. The power to change your life doesn't show up once. It shows up every single morning. It's written on your clock, whispering, what will you do with today? Living greater every day is not about perfection, it's about progress. It's about showing up as your best self, even when you're at your worst. It's about aligning your daily actions with your ultimate vision. Because every small, consistent action you take is a declaration to the universe: I am not done growing. So decide not someday, but today that you will live greater. Decide to show up fully. Decide to speak power into your dreams. Decide to walk with purpose even when the path isn't clear. Decide that no matter what life throws at you, you will rise higher, think bigger, and give more. Because greatness isn't a title you earn once, it's a lifestyle you embody daily. The way you live each day becomes the legacy you leave behind. Every sunrise is another chance to write that legacy with courage, clarity, and conviction. Live greater every day, not tomorrow, not next week, not when it's easy. Every day, because the moment you do, you become the kind of person who turns the impossible into inevitable. And when you live that way long enough, you won't just reach success, you'll radiate it.